travelers, Jamie, Sugar, Shakes and Bakes. Welcome to another episode of Shaking and Baking with Parkinson's. Quick shout out real quick to the Bibby over at Parkinson's Association of Alabama. She has been kind enough to throw some links to this channel on the newsletter coming out, and as well as going to be on the website. So please, if you're in Alabama, you need some information on Parkinson's, you know someone in your life that has Parkinson's, or you yourself are a traveler as I am, please go to their website. The links are down below. Also have some links to some other websites you can go to, of course, Fox, Trial Finders, the Fox Foundation's on there, as well as Davis Finney Foundation. So please go down and look below. As well as I have the recipe that I'm going to cook today. So today's recipe is something that's very dear to my heart, being in the South. Buttermilk biscuits. You cannot beat them. And for breakfast, everyone always says, you know, I wish I could just make biscuits. I like the big biscuits, soft biscuits, like a restaurant. And I just, you know, I wish I knew how to make those. This recipe is so simple, and it makes the most amazing, unbelievable, delicious biscuits you can have. You can whip these up, have these ready to go while everyone's still asleep. They jump in the shower. This recipe is so fast. You can put these together, put them in the oven, have them out before they even know you've done anything. Like, oh my God, where do we get these biscuits? This is the recipe you want to use for that. It can be made with buttermilk or milk, people. So let's get to making some biscuits. Okay, once again, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have all your ingredients ready to go. Now, nothing in this recipe needs to be room temperature, so you can just make them ready to go, but I do go ahead. Got my little cupcake tins with everything in it, but first thing we're going to do 2 cups of flour. Now, you can find biscuit recipes all over the internet. This is the one that I've used for the longest. Feel free to look them up, but I like this one. I'll put it down below in the links. So 2 cups of flour. Next thing we're going to do, I've got a whole tablespoon of baking powder. I've got a tablespoon of sugar, and I've got a teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to put all that together in the bowl. Whisk it together real quick. I've got 1/3 cup of shortening. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shortening and I'm going to break it up, and I'm just going to mix it up in here till it becomes very mealy. So I'm going to take little pieces of it, stick it down in there, take me a fork. I like to use my hands, but you can use a fork. Just kind of mix the break up, and just breaking it up in there. Now that's done, I'm taking 1 cup of buttermilk. I'll pour the buttermilk in here. Now I do not want to overmix this. I'm just going to barely mix it. I just want to make it so that the dough kind of comes together. And by what I mean by come together, it just want to make sure everything's a little wet. So there's no parts that are dry. But do not over stir this. I'm going to stir it from, that's about it right there. So what I'm doing here is I'm lightly flouring my surface, because I have not, what I'm going to do is pour all that and just dump all that out. There's going to be some dry bits in it, get all around the edges. So how do you keep your biscuits from being tough? I have people say that the biscuits come out like hockey pucks. Don't through a window, we've all had those biscuits like that. This is where that happens. So what I've done, I've dumped it out there. Gently, I'm going to gather the dough. I'm going to knead it very soft. See, I'm not rolling it. I'm just making sure everything is good and combined. See all those little parts of the mixture, the wet dough. Got some dry parts on this. Don't knead hard. Maybe 10-15 times. That's it. Leave it alone. I'm going to press it out with my hands gently until it gets about maybe a little less than 1 inch thick. 1 inch thick's really good. That's it, leave it alone, don't do no more. Okay, ungreased cookie sheet. Take it's about a 2-inch cutter, press in a little flour, dip it up, set it on the cookie sheet. Cookie sheet right here. Again, set them kind of close to each other, not just barely, almost touching, or touching just gently. Okay, so I get 4 out of this first batch. Now what I do is gently, I don't want to overwork this, because those are going to be the best biscuits. The first 4 are always the best biscuits. Just kind of form it back together best you can. pat it down to about the same size. Then again, I'm not overworking the dough. If you overwork the dough, your biscuit is going to be a hockey puck. This recipe makes 6 biscuits. Don't try and get more out of it. This is going to be the last one. If you want to make smaller biscuits, that's fine. Make smaller biscuits or double this recipe. It makes 12. It makes 12 easy. Okay, see, I've got that one. Boom. 6 biscuits right there. As pretty as you like. Going in the oven, which is 425 degrees, till they're done. They're about ready. They're turning brown on the top. So what I've done is I've got a little bit more buttermilk. I'm just going to brush a little buttermilk on them as soon as they come out of the oven. You can do this with butter. You can use whatever you prefer. You can leave them as they are because they're going to be pretty good. So get these out of the oven. Make sure you have oven mitt handy. I'll turn around and grab that hot. Oh yeah. So we look at these come up, looking really good. Well, I'd say I didn't put that buttermilk on there, don't I? I was gonna move them over to the tray, but just brush the tops of these. Some people like the biscuit a little bit more done. I like it just like this. That tender is gonna be, inside's gonna be nice. Just a little buttermilk. That will just add a little bit extra flavor. Right there's ready to go. If you like what's happening on the channel, please hit the subscribe button below. There's a little bell next to it. You click that bell, you'll get notifications every time I post a new video. So please do that. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody about shaking and baking with Parkinson's. This has been Buttermilk Biscuits. Like we always say, the road may be a little shaky, but it will always be tasty. Thanks.